And so it tells us that the responsibility for moral and religious development then became the sole burden of the humanities, but the humanity professors also had accepted non-cognitivist attitude of the non-empirical realms, right? They also held that ethics and morality and religion and that sort of thing were not truth, didn't contain any truth. And so they too were forced to negate these, and go over these waters, navigate these waters without any solid body of knowledge concerning values. And so the attempt then, he tells us, to teach character, notice, was inconsistent with the new founding values of the university: tolerance, academic freedom, a spirit of non-dogmatic ideas, and free inquiry. And so among humanity professors, a common vision of non-empirical knowledge disappeared. Mm-hmm. And all ethical and religious training was, he says, punted to extracurricular activities.
Right.
So that's where you were going to learn your, these non-empirical knowledge, which weren't knowledge at all, right? Ethics and religious training. We just move them over to extracurricular activities.
Right. So when we talk about good sexual health, the person that I want to learn it from is the football coach. So, what I ought to do on a date? Well, he's going to put little X's and O's on a board and tell me how to sack, I guess. Well, universities hope then to develop students' characters by developing extracurricular structures to nurture their senses of community and spiritual moral values. The university's second goal, then, imparting moral and spiritual knowledge, became the muddled goal of developing a rich student life. Scientism filling the atmosphere meant morality became morale. The college experience revolved around athletic teams and school spirit. Again, it's almost upended some schools where you are a 4, maybe a 6-year general studies graduate because you can run a football really well.
Or at least watch a football game. Cheer.
Yeah, and that makes you a good citizen.
That's right.
And then we wonder why the idea of dads sitting around and painting their chest on every Sunday is viewed in the zeitgeist as a thing that happens.
That's right.
The second goal then dissolved. Like the likes of Plato, Aristotle, Moses, Solomon, and, of course, the man Jesus were soon replaced with fight songs and football games. And, of course, once you do that, once you replace Plato and Aristotle, Moses, Solomon, Jesus, and replace it with fight songs, right? We're not going to see the same type of quality or caliber of response, of students, of art. This degradation is, where else will it go? And then you're going to have to rely on you as the individual. And, you as the individual can do a lot. And, to pull from my backwards religious experience here of you are responsible for your own sin. You are responsible for your own moral character as well. But universities were there to help to encourage that, just as classical education in the primary schools and schools being both at home or the one-room schoolhouse were there to develop not just your mind, but you as the man or the woman to be the person you're going to be. Once those rock solid foundation or those avenues of teaching were done away with for just this kind of cultural rah-rah and specialization in science and only the sciences, what else would we expect in society? So I think Moreland is making great points here. And by great points, I mean ones that I definitely agree with and see.
Yeah.